野球って数字で語れるようでいて、どこかで必ず数字に収まらないものが出てくる。ロバーツ監督が試合後のインタビューで打順の変更を検討していると口にしたとき、記者たちの空気が少し変わったのが分かった。大谷翔平とムーキー・ベッツ。その2人の起用法というだけで話が別の重さを持ち始める。ドジャースは今シーズンもリーグを代表する打線を構成している。その中心にいるのがもちろん大谷翔平だ。2024年にドジャースへ移籍してからの彼の数字は改めて言うまでもないほど圧倒的だった。打者としても走者としても対戦する投手たちにとって最も警戒すべき存在であり続けている。ムーキー・ベッツもまたリーグ屈指のリードオフヒッターとしての地位を長年保ってきた選手だ。出塁率の高さ、ゲームの入り方のうまさ、守備の貢献。どれをとっても一級品で、チームの精神的な柱でもある。この2人を打順のどこに置くかという問いは単純に見えて実はとても複雑だ。データ野球が進化した現代において打順の組み方には明確な理論がある。出塁できる選手を上位に、長打力のある選手をチャンスのある場面に回す。けれど実際の試合では相手投手の癖、その日の流れ、選手のコンディション、そういったものが絡み合って理論通りにいかないことも多い。ロバーツ監督はキャリアを通じてデータと直感をうまく使い分けてきた指揮官として知られている。ただの数字の上に立つ采配ではなく、選手個人の状態や空気を読みながら判断を下す。今回の発言もそういう文脈の中にある。固定観念を持たず、常に最善を探し続けている姿勢の表れだと思う。もちろん、ファンやメディアの関心が集まるのは当然だ。大谷翔平が打線のどこにいるかによって、試合の展開そのものが変わりうる。相手チームの守備シフト、敬遠の判断、投手の組み立て。すべてが彼の打順と連動している。一つ正直に言うと、この話題を追っていて気づいたことがある。打順の議論って、実は監督の野球哲学そのものが透けて見える瞬間なんだと思う。どの選手をどう信頼しているか。チームの勝利のために何を優先するか。数字の並べ方の奥に、そういうものがある。今後の試合で、実際に変更があるのかどうか。見届けたい気持ちは誰もが持っているんじゃないかと思う。試合の音が遠のくように少し間が空く。次の言葉はもっと静かな場所から来る。
Late game lineup decisions have this way of revealing everything a manager believes without him ever having to say it. You watch the situation sub often, or is this case you watch the press conference where a manager hints that something might shift, and suddenly you are not just watching baseball anymore, you are watching someone think in public and with depth rebuts. That's always been interesting to observe because he does not think in straight line. The question of where Shohei Ohtani bats in a lineup sounds like a tactical conservation, and it is, but it's also something else. It's a question about how you relate something and production because there is generally no historical temperature for a player like him. For for a for a player like him, Rivers he talked about this is different way over the year. The idea that data inform but does not decide, and I think that's the right frame of understanding for understanding what actually happens here. He was say he's considering change. He's not abandoning a system. He's doing what good manager. He always done what which is staying in motion, refusing to let lineup clarity into something the opposition can study and predict and prepare for. What I find genuinely fascinating about this particular story beyond the tactical cheese of it is what it says about the ongoing project of integrating Shohei Otani into a team that was already very good. This was not a revolt. The Dodgers did not sing him because they were lost. They signed him because they wanted to go from excellent to something beyond that, and the challenge of that, observing a player who changed the geometry of everything around him, is one the organization is still actively working through. That not a Christmas, that's just the reality of what it look like when you add something genuinely new to a system that was built before it excited. And maybe what I want to say most directly here. The conservation around his lineup position, around Bottas' role, around what Rivers is considering, none of it should be read as a sign of trouble. It should be read as a sign that the team is paying close attention, that they have not settled into comfort, that there's still an active presence of there's still something better happens inside the organization when even when things are going well. I will have watching the next of few weeks with this conservation in mind, not because I think the lineup will transform dramatically because they transform the small adjustments, the subtle shift in screens, the moment where you can tell a decision was made deliberately. Those are the things that separate a good team from a great one. And right now, the Doggers are trying to figure out which one they are. So I am honestly.